As a business owner, you can potentially deduct your home office or an expense for your home office if it's your primary place of business. Now, one big perk and not to be overlooked on the simple method is that it's easy. So you went from a home office deduction of $1,500 max to a home office deduction of $16,000 max. Hey everyone, I wanted to take a minute and break down a common deduction for a lot of taxpayers, but really explain it in detail because I find that people come in and they may have it sometimes, they may not, but they usually have heard of it and they just aren't sure if they're getting it or not and how to do it. So this is the home office deduction. So what is the home office deduction? Well, first of all, it does not apply to W-2 employees. As a business owner, you can potentially deduct your home office or an expense for your home office if it's your primary place of business. So how does it work? Well, they put it into two methods. You either take the simple method or you take the actual method. The simple method is easy. You figure out how big is the office, how many square feet is the office space or the place of doing business in your house, and up to 300 square feet, that's your max. Take that times $5. So if you had a 300 square foot office space or bigger, that's a $1,500 deduction. And at the highest tax rate, you're talking about a federal tax savings of $555 from that deduction. Now, one big perk and not to be overlooked on the simple method is that it's easy, right? You don't have to do any homework. Just figure up the square foot of your office, your business space. It needs to be dedicated to business. So it can't be a second bedroom that you use for guests when they come over. It can't be the computer in the side of your bedroom or in your living room, right? No, you need a space dedicated for business. So if you've got that second bedroom, maybe just convert that thing fully to an office. But again, that's simple. It's easy to do. The next one is the actual method. And for a lot of people, they don't go after this one. It takes more doing homework, but I'm going to outline a real case example here and just kind of show you what it can look like. So for the actual method, you take the square foot of your business space in your home or your home office, divide that by the square footage of your total house. So let's say office space is 750 square feet and total house is 2,500. That's 30%. 30% of your home is used for your office space. So keep that number in the back of your head right now. Now let's say the total house is valued at $500,000. Well, if we take that and let's just assume land wasn't in there, then we've got depreciation each year of about $13,000, just under. 500,000 divided by 39 years, which is how long you can depreciate an office over. So you got a $13,000 deduction there, right? That's one expense. Then you've got property taxes on the house. Let's say those were $10,000, right? Mortgage interest. Let's say that's $20,000. You've got your insurance on the house. Let's say that's $5,000. You've got your utilities for the house. Let's say that's another $5,000. So add all those numbers up, taking into account the depreciation on the home, and we're at about $53,000 right now. So you're like, oh, that's great. $53,000, is that my deduction? No, we have to take that $53,000 because that was for the entire house. So now we multiply that by 30%, right? That's how we get the home office deduction here. And it comes out to about $16,000. So you went from a home office deduction of $1,500 max to a home office deduction of $16,000 max, right? So if you're at a 37% tax rate, that's $6,000 in tax savings as opposed to $555. So you're at about $5,500 difference in tax savings from using the actual method. Now you need to keep a tracker of this, right? You need to keep a spreadsheet or keep updated with this. You could even put into place an accountable plan, reimburse yourself from the business for this monthly. Again, use an accountant if you're doing something like that. But this is just to show, like, if you do the homework, it may be worth it, right? Because it's not that hard. A lot of that stuff is already on forms that you get. Mortgage interest, property taxes, and insurance if they're escrowed in, right? All that's going to be on your 1098 statement that you get at tax time anyways. Utilities, you can go through and find them, right? Nothing that's too crazy to find. Now, some pieces come up outside of this sometimes. Maintenance on the house, let's say lawn care, things like that. And those all get a little interesting. A lot of them are based on, do you regularly meet with people in your house? And if so, then those are potentially deductible. Same as other repairs and things like that to the house outside the office. If you have any of those repairs that are done directly to the home office, that's 100% deductible. So you get a new door, you get a new flooring in the office, something like that, then that is. But a lot of times people are like, well, we painted the house. Okay, well, if you're an attorney and you have people that come to your house all the time, then maybe, right? But if you're, just whatever, a real estate flipper, and no one ever comes to your house to meet with you, maybe once or twice a year of something, right? Then those expenses aren't going to come into play. Now, another piece that comes up here sometimes is something called the Augusta rule. And I'm not going to get deep into that. Just know it sounds really cool in clips, TikTok and Instagram reels and everything else. I'll do a video breakdown on it at some point, but for most people, it's not advantageous. It's not right. And it's not going to be worth it. This actual home office deduction is a lot more worth it and actually legal and readily available to you. And then if you really don't want to do any homework or it just, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, right? Then, let's say you have a 100 square foot office and a 3,000 square foot home, just go after the simple because it's just not going to add up to enough to do all the homework. All right. Thanks for tuning in here, guys, as we explain the home office deduction and we broke down the differences in the simple versus the actual deduction. Hopefully you were able to take something away from this video that helps you in your own circumstance. If you found the video helpful, jump over to reitaxu.com. REI Tax University is a community where we help real estate investors understand and leverage tax planning opportunities. We'd love to have you over there. Thanks.